social science lectures, and this is based on the revised syllabus according to 2022. So the first chapter in this social science, that is from history part, is sources. So now let us move on to the chapter. So let us begin with the chapter History, Chapter 1, Sources. So, after studying this chapter, that is the competencies of this chapter are, we are going to learn about the sources, and they are required to the study of history. And we are going to learn about the different types of sources in history and what are the importance of these archaeological sources, and even we are going to understand about the importance of Halmidi inscription and about the oral sources. So let us begin. So when we see the title of this lesson, that is sources. So basically, what are these sources? Sources are nothing but the basic materials or the necessary materials which are must or necessary for the construction of history. So now what is this history? History is nothing but the systematic study of past. So, to construct this history, we need sources. And these sources give details of a particular period. Sources are the essential ingredients for the construction of history. So, as we require certain ingredients to prepare food items, we need sources to construct history. And there is one stance in history, that is, if there is no source, no history. This explains us the importance of sources in history. So, as there cannot be history without sources, we should learn the importance of sources. So, sources are very important for the understanding of past events. History can be compared to a human body. Sources are the skeleton of the human body. So, if we have to compare history to something, we can compare it to a human body, where sources being the skeleton of human body. So it follows that without sources there can be no construction of history. As I told you previously, if there is no source, no history. The kind of source used determines the kind of view we get about the history. So, the type of source which historians use to write history, that determines what kind of view the historian gets to write about the history. This is the reason why there is no universal history. It is well known that there should be definite sources for all facts and events described in history. So these it is well known that there should be definite sources to and all the facts related to the event to describe it in the history. So children, in this historian, one who writes history is called historian, and he is compared to an advocate. As advocates collect all the information and present them in court, in the same way these historians collect the sources, subject them to critical analysis, and then write the history. Okay, so in some cases there are no sources available, like definite sources, they are not available. So historians, what they'll do, based on the available sources, they make assumptions and then write the history. So these sources can be classified into two groups. They are nothing but literary sources and archaeological sources. And further, this literary sources can be classified into two, that is native and foreign literature. And we are going to learn about archaeological sources. In that we are going to learn about three kinds, that is inscriptions, coins and monuments. So in the previous, that means when the textbook was not revised, we had another archaeological source, that is other ruins. But in this we are going to learn about only three. They are inscriptions, coins and monuments. Okay, so now let us learn about the literary sources. Literary sources is nothing but the sources which are available in written sources, or they are conveyed from one person to another or by one generation to another in oral form. That is by mouth to mouth. So, learning about the native literature, literature produced by Indians is called native literature. So, what is this native literature? The literature which is created by Indians only in their native languages. It is called native literature. And the sources comprising such literature are called native literary sources. So let us take some examples such as Vishakadatta's Mudra Rakshasa, Kalhana's Rajatarangini, Ashwagosha's Buddha Charita, Kautilya's Arthashastra, the Tripitikas of Buddhist literature, Sri Vijaya's Kaviraja Marga. These are some of the literary productions with worth mentioning. So, the writings of foreign visitors, explorers, and scholars comprise of foreign literature, and such writings are called foreign literary sources. So, children, we know that foreigners visited our India as the ambassadors, visitors, scholars, officials, or explorers. So, at the time of their visiting, they noticed some of the things in India, in their places. Right. So they wrote a book called Foreign Literature. That means in their book, the books which they wrote their, what we can say, they wrote what they saw in those particular places, their experiences in the particular place. They conserved it as a in the form of book, right? They are called as the foreign literature, and the such writings are known as foreign literary sources. Okay, so now Megasthenes Indica, Hyun Sang's Siyuki, Fa Hain's Gokoki. So these are some of the examples of foreign literature. Okay, so here there are some more examples. Even you can notice them as well. So before wasting any time, let us go to the archaeological sources. So this is all about the literary sources. We finished it. Now let us move on to the archaeological sources. So, when you listen the word archaeological sources, what do you think, or do you know about them? So, let us read now. Archaeological sources are the inscriptions or the coins or the monuments, pottery and other artifacts that have been obtained during the archaeological excavations. So, what are these archaeological sources? They are the inscriptions or the coins or the monuments or pots, pans, and other artifacts which are found during the archaeological excavations. So, what are these excavations? They are nothing but digging the earth to find certain things that are the archaeological sources. So now, as I told you earlier in the competencies, when we were reading the competencies, we are going to learn about inscriptions, coins, and monuments. So now let us learn about the inscriptions. Inscriptions are the living fact bearers of a particular period. Okay, so these inscriptions are very old and they are still there from those times, and they gave information about a particular period. They are like the living fact bearers. Okay, so these inscriptions provide us information about the religion, culture, economy, administration, and other aspects of that period. So these are the aspects which we get information about in the inscriptions. Okay, so now the earliest inscription obtained in our country has been the inscription written by the Mauryan Emperor Ashoka. So Ashoka's inscriptions are the oldest or the earliest inscriptions obtained in our country. They are the first inscriptions obtained in our country, that is in India. He got the inscription engraved on rocks and stone pillars. So this Ashoka, he engraved his inscriptions on the rocks or stone pillars. Okay. So what these kings used to do, they used to engrave inscription on the materials which are long lasting, like rocks, stones, bones, and on the walls, etc. So, in those stone pillars or the inscriptions engraved in the stone have survived much more. Okay, so now such inscriptions are found in many places in India. They are found in many places of India. Okay. So now children, these are mostly in Brahmi script of Prakrit language. So the inscriptions which are written, they are mostly in the Brahmi script of Prakrit language. Some inscriptions have been found in Greek, Aramaic and Kharosthi script too. So these Ashoka's inscriptions, they are also found in Karnataka as well. Okay, so the two places where Ashoka's inscriptions have been found are Maski and Brahmagiri. So here we have another information, that is the first inscription which is obtained in Kannada language is the Halmidi inscription, and this point is very important, which was written during the reign of King Kakutsa Varma of Kadamba dynasty. So now moving on to the study of coins. So now we learnt about the study of inscriptions. Now moving on to the study of coins. Okay. Numismatics is the study of the evolution, nature and development of coins. So this numismatics is one of the study which deals with the evolution, nature and development of coins. So coins have been minted by using a variety of metals. As we know, coins for minting coins we use variety of metals. Okay, such as copper, gold, silver. We use so many metals to mint these coins. These play a significant role in reconstructing history. So these coins have played a significant role in reconstructing the history. They are valuable sources of information regarding the religion, culture, administration, social and economic aspects of the periods to which they belong. So these coins, what they do, they provide us information about the religion, culture, religion of the kings who were there in the throne, the culture they followed, administration of the particular kingdom, how were the social and economic aspects during those periods, they told us. So this is about the importance of coins. So now moving on to the study of monuments and ruins. So as I told you, study of monuments and other ruins. Okay, so monuments are nothing but the stupas, basadis, temples, palaces, forts and ruins are the kinds of monuments which exist today. So these are some of the kinds of monuments. Okay, these monuments enable us to know about the civilization, technology, social and economic conditions of that period. Okay, so these monuments, what they do, they provide us information or they help us to know about the advancement of the civilization, advancement of the technology, about the civilization, social and economic aspects of that period. So these what are these monuments also reflect on the achievements of the kings and administrators. So these monuments were, they help us to know about the achievements of kings and the administrators. How? See, the kings when they wage war against another kingdom, if they win, they used to build monuments in memory of that. So in this way, these monuments convey us about the achievements of the kings. For example, if we take Ashoka pillars, Ajanta and Ellora caves, the Elephanta caves, Badami, Aihole, and Pattadakallu of Karnataka are the evidences of India's glorious heritage. Okay, so here we know that they provide us the information about advancement of technology. So the best example of this is Bahmani Adil Shah's Gol Gumbaz. It was the best example for the advancement of technology during that period. Okay, so now Indian architecture is unique. We know that Indian architecture is very unique. Right. So, innumerable stupas, basadis, chaityas, and thousands of temples have emerged throughout India over the centuries. So, as we all know, there are innumerable stupas, basadis, chaityas, and thousands of temples have emerged throughout the India over the centuries. So, a study of these help us to know indirectly about the religious, political and social economic life of that period. Okay. So now oral sources. We are going to learn about the oral sources. Okay. So oral sources. Today many oral sources are being used to understand the diverse Indian heritage. So there are many oral sources which are there to understand the diverse Indian heritage. Oral sources are nothing but the sources which are conveyed by mouth or orally through generation to generation. From the time immemorial human society has preserved its experiences and memories in the forms of lyrics, poems, and songs. They are passed on from generation to generation through oral communication. So, as I told you, these oral sources are nothing but the sources which are conveyed orally. So these our ancestors, what they did, they used to preserve their experiences and memories of certain situations in the form of lyrics or poems and songs. And these are passed from generation to generation. Okay. So this tradition of oral sources is there in existence before the advent of writing. So before the what we can say, before people come to know about writing, they followed the technique of oral sources. Okay, this tradition of oral source is there in the existence before the discovery of art of writing. Okay, Indian history begins with this oral tradition only. The Vedas survived as oral tradition for many generations, after which they were recorded in written form. So, the Vedic age or the Vedas, in which we study Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Samaveda, so Atharvana Veda, these are the Vedas. And the information about these Vedas are survived, were survived as oral tradition for many generations, after which only they were recorded in written form. Legends. So when we talk about legends, there are many legends related to individuals, events and customs in many parts of India. Legends are nothing but the people who did great success in their life. You may have heard people saying legendary people, legends. So these legends are related to individuals, events and customs in many parts of India. So this legend is completely different from the legend which I said. Okay, so these legends are also referred to as the Sthala Puranas. They are these legends which I am talking now are the Sthala Puranas. Usually, they do not provide direct information for the study of history. So, usually, we do not get any direct information through these legends to write history. They reflect only upon the social beliefs. Okay, they also highlight the glory of certain individuals or the significance of a particular place. Okay, they highlight the glory of certain individuals like Sangolli Rayana, Kittur Rani Channamma. These legends highlight their glorious story, and they even tell about the significance of a particular place. Generally, we come across the Sthala Puranas related to the particular religious place. So this is all about the chapter sources. In this video, we completed about the sources. Let us meet in the exercises of this chapter. Till then, bye bye. Thank you.